If you are continually using the D word every time you have a disagreement or every time something doesn't go your way, you are destroying your marriage. How can your spouse ever trust you if you don't stop? So growing up, when my parents would have any disagreements and it would escalate or they'd be fighting, oftentimes my dad would pack a bag and leave.
Yep.
And I remember those times and thinking they were just devastating to a kid, obviously, who's seen his dad pack his bag and walk out the door. So, obviously my parents weren't flawless.
Oh, yeah.
But it's still a thing. And, as a kid, my sister and I, we would wonder, where he's going. Sometimes we'd be crying, whatever else, because we don't know what else is going on. Mom and dad are just having a disagreement, and it's heated and it's hot, and it gets to the point. And my dad's habit was to pack a bag and leave. Pack a suitcase.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know the stories. Yeah, your mom
he'd
said
pack a suitcase. If I remember correctly, it was a big black suitcase. Like
a big suitcase?
Like you're going to the airport suitcase.
Oh my gosh.
We were poor. He couldn't have had that much stuff. So he probably had all his belongings in there at one time. I don't know. But nonetheless, so he would pack his bag, head out the door, and this was not once, twice. It was kind of a pattern that they had when they would argue. Yeah. And now, being, much older and experiencing, 30 years of marriage with you, we've had our own set of challenges, but those connected with what we've had now definitely have left me with a perspective that I think is totally different.
Yeah.
And so, I've never done that.
No.
Have you ever done that?
Yes.
Oh.
Not packed a bag. I've never done that. It was more of we'd get in arguments and I'd be like, let's just get divorced. It's so easy just to say it and give up, basically, just because you're mad. Just looking back,
The D word.
The D word. And that's what I would be like, that's it, I'm done with this, or whatever. I would be so angry and ready just to give up. But so I used to threaten it a lot. Because at the beginning, we had our first 5 years for sure were very difficult.
It was hard.
And we had our moments.
Kids instantly.
Yeah.
No money.
Right.
So we had a lot of challenges and, both really young in comparison to some people,
young,
immature.
Yes.
And, you were messed up. I know, we were both immature.
Probably,
but,
we both,
but the point was, it was tough. So I remember distinctly that feeling of my dad walking out the door. I can see it.
What did you feel like when you were a kid? You did you understand? Or
well,
not,
you
what was
you
going
know
on?
the tension, and mom and dad are fighting.
Yeah.
And they're mad, and that's kind of scary and uncomfortable for a little one as it is.
Did you think like he's leaving and is he going to come back?
Well, who knew?
Who
knew? Yeah, he had no idea. You just see your dad, whom I love my dad,
of course,
walking out the door with a suitcase, and anger and tension, from just disagreements that went too far.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because now what? We just celebrated their what?
56th
anniversary.
56 years.
That's a long time.
Long time.
Do we plan to make it that long?
We better.
Oh, okay. You're on board?
Yeah.
Just making sure.
26 more years.
Oh my word. Okay. We'll talk about that one later. So anyway, they're still married, obviously. So super long marriage. Yeah. He always came back.
I was going to ask you, did you since it happened so much, did it get to a point like, oh, he's leaving again, like getting used to it, I should ask. Did you kind of get used to him doing that and thinking he's just going to be back?
I don't know. I don't recall. It's probably too far back.
Yeah.
I just remember the feeling that it always left, and most of the time it was fear that my dad was leaving, and fear of the unknown or what's going on, and fear of the tension and the dynamics of the whole thing, and it made me feel unsafe. Just like I wasn't in a safe, loving place, and of course, that would be for any environment.
Oh yeah.
My parents loved me.
Oh, of course.
So I don't want to give the wrong context here. It was just in the heat of the moment where you have these serious fights,
right,
and somebody responds that way.
Did she used to talk to you guys and be like, say anything about it, or was it just left? There was nothing. It was just your dad would leave, and she'd be like, just.
I don't remember.
No,
honestly. She may have. I just remember the impact of my dad leaving so much. So it's interesting because fast forward, you know, then here comes that day, and I'm married.
Yes.
Now, one thing I've never done, and you have to stand behind me on this.
What?
I've never packed my bag, and you know,
You have not.
I don't do that. Maybe it's because of what I experienced. Maybe not. I don't know. But we did have our own time where that D word kept coming back into the conversation, right?
Yep, quite a bit. That's. I mean, I used to use it so loosely. I look back now until you finally said, like, you better mean it next time, because this is it was too much. You know, just too easy to say. Let's just give up. Let's just get divorced. And
well, it's their fighting words.
Yeah.
Right. But what we realize now, looking back, is it's much bigger than just fighting words. It has some serious impact.
Yeah.
And it keeps your relationship from ever healing. Is what's really going on there. So here's what's funny. I remember when the tension we would have and the fights we would have and the D word would come into it, you know, fine, get a divorce and, you know, that kind of thing, and it'd be thrown out. And I remember coming to the point where I'm like, you know what? Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm like, the door is not locked.
Right.
So you can walk out anytime, and if you're going to keep doing that, then go.
Yeah.
Because I was tired of it.
Yeah, because I would use it so loosely.
Yeah,
Like
what I realize now is there was much bigger repercussions to it than what we would have noticed on the surface then.
Yeah.
After we went through it a while, we noticed, hey, there's some challenges here, and at some point it had to stop.
We had to recognize what was going on, and that's when we basically. I remember us sitting down and having a serious talk and deciding, hey, I mean, we love each other, so this is decision time. Like, are we going to fight for our marriage and our family and all that, or are we just going to give up? Because it was getting to a point where something's got to give. You remember?
Yeah, because it's the same thing every time. It's like, you know, it's why does the same thing come up every time? You know? And it's like every little argument, if they're close together, here we are again. Okay, here we are again. So how do you ever heal?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the point, is recognizing what's going on and trying to talk through things. I mean, we had to know what was causing these issues. And I know I was, and we all know, like we said, I was pregnant.
Who is we all?
Well, I think a lot of people now know.
You should be careful using we all.
How I was when I was pregnant, you know, it was.
Oh, yeah.
It was, we didn't learn, we learned it later, but the hormones affected me in not the best way. So, but and I was pregnant for the, first 4 years off and on of our marriage. So the fifth year, it was just, we struggled. So I'm saying we had to recognize certain things. You
were pregnant the first 4 years?
Well,
Is that what you said?
I was pregnant. We had 3 kids in the first 4 years.
So where are those other kids?
Yeah, we had 3 kids in those 4 years.
Okay.
So yeah, just that kind of stuff is recognizing what is going on, just different things that each of us contributed to these arguments and why they were happening, to where we could start trying to heal and talk about it and decide what we were going to do.
So the real thing, is you have to learn to fight fair.
Yeah, for sure.
So looking back, it was there. We were fighting to battle each other.
Yes, just to battle.
Just to battle.
Who's going to win?
Yeah.
You want to win.
And it was my wall, your wall, my way, your way. And it just was this. It was never a matter of, hey, how can I try to see it from your perspective? So that word would always come up. Here's the challenge. When you continually use that D word in your conversations, you can't ever heal from the last argument. And if they're not spaced out significantly, and oftentimes they're not, because when tensions are high, it doesn't take much to spark a new argument. and then it comes right back to the surface. You know, it may settle a little bit, you know, I want a divorce. Well, get a divorce, you know, and that kind of language back and forth. And what it truly, you know, does now looking back, remembering those moments, is it leaves each spouse in a space of not feeling safe.
Right.
Not feeling secure in your relationship, right?
Yeah.
Uncertainty.
Yeah, I was going to say uncertain.
You're uncertain about, well, is today the day? Is this
When's it
the
gonna
argument?
happen?
So the tensions stay high.
Yeah.
So I remember that, and I remember when we came to that conclusion, and I said, hey, look, this has to stop. This has to stop.
Yeah.
I can't feel like I trust you, number one. I can't feel like I can be open with you, number two, because I'm always trying to watch around me and protect myself for the next D word or when it really comes, because you're not really sure whether, is that coming or not?
Yeah.
So you're always in that mode of trying to protect yourself. Well, if you're protecting yourself, then how can you be one together?
Oh, yeah, you can't.
You can't.
It's impossible.
Yeah. So do you remember how that went?
I mean, I remember our talk like I said earlier, when we sat down and had a talk and really
Come to
decided.
Jesus meeting?
Yeah. Serious
That's what we call
talk,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was either that really happening, the D word, or let's figure out what's going on and fight for our marriage.
Yeah, I think it's, it breaks trust. There's no trust for the other person. If you can't trust that they're going to be there, then
You can't count on
you
that.
can't count on it. So here's a thing that has to happen in what we did. So for anybody who may be listening now, this may be something, if that word or narrative is in your conversation every time you have a challenge with your spouse, this may be for you. This may be something that works for you as well, because it helped us significantly once we got to that point to say,
took a while.
Enough's enough.
Yep.
Look, do we love each other? Number one. And we both agreed we did.
Yep.
Then why do we keep throwing this word out to each other, threatening each other? It's a threat.
It was threatening, yes.
It's a threat.
That's
And
what it
whenever you
was.
threaten somebody, what happens? What's the other person do?
They throw a wall up.
They throw a response
Yeah.
up, a wall, a defense, whatever. So you never ever win. And you can never be, I hate the word vulnerable because, it's hard for
It's hard for you.
It's hard for me. So I'm sure I'm not the only one.
No, you're not.
But anyway, it's hard to be vulnerable because I didn't trust you, and I was in self-protection mode,
Right.
trying to make sure that I was very cautious of whatever craziness you might do, or if you're headed out the door, the next argument, or whatever else that might be. So at the end of the day, you have to stop using that word.
Yeah. So what do you tell people that are going through that? Like, what are you suggesting that they do? You're saying, what was our other step? We decided we loved each other. Number two.
If that is part of somebody's language and it's this, constant threat, number one, you better assess, do you love each other? And I mean, you married this person, is there, why?
Right.
Okay. And set that stuff aside and sit down and say, hey, what would our marriage look like if we removed that language? If we knew that the other person was there for the long run. In other words, hey, are you committed to me for the long run? Or is this just like, hey, if it gets hard enough, you're out of here?
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So if you can't commit to those things, then you probably should seek professional help. Yeah. You need some counseling or you need somebody to give you some guidance in your marriage, because if not, then you can't ever feel safe to open up or to be real with your spouse, because you're always in self-protection mode, just in case whatever you might be doing or might choose to do next. And you'll never heal.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah.
That's really it.
For sure. And that's why I say get help. And we didn't we didn't have that back then. We didn't think of, we're going to get help or we need help or anything like that.
No, we
just
didn't.
kept
We were
battling
fortunate
by
that, we always lean on our faith. I don't know where we were. We had a season where we weren't very involved or lean on our faith at all.
Yeah. And we were so young. That's the thing.
We were
too.
young.
It was like looking back.
But this happens in marriages of all different
the time.
ages.
Yes, exactly.
It's a common thing. We've heard it within other friends of ours' marriages and stuff too. So it's real simple. Stop using the D word.
Yeah.
If you're using the D word in your marriage, then you literally are destroying the trust from your spouse.
Yeah.
They cannot trust you until you remove that word and you say, hey, look, okay, I'm in it for the long run. Are you in it for the long run? If we're both in it for the long run, then let's set that aside and quit using it with just tearing down each other and making both of us feel unsafe in our relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's really about.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yep.
my dad always came back, right?
Yep.
The funny thing is, we were just talking about this, for a while, he'd come back, he'd come walking in with a suitcase, and my mom, she's the caregiver and everything, and she takes care of the home and has always done a great job with that. She would unpack his bag and put all his stuff away and everything else until there came a point.
Exactly. So she was just telling me.
Till there came a point, she said, you know what? If you're going to keep doing this, unpack your own bag.
Yeah.
Put your own stuff away.
Or just don't come back.
Just don't come back.
Yeah. She said it was so often that she was like, I'm done unpacking this. You either do it yourself or quit doing it and just don't come home.
Yeah, it's funny.
So.
And by the way, I'm super proud of my parents.
Oh, yeah.
Is their relationship perfect? No.
Nobody's
Is ours?
is.
No.
Yeah.
But they're pushing
They've stuck
60
it through.
years,
Oh
so
my
they've put
gosh.
up with each other for
A
Just
long
kidding.
time.
They've been with
Yeah.
each other for 60, and they were kids
They
too.
were
They were
super
just kids
young.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
Yeah. It's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hey, I hope this video was helpful to somebody, maybe you. If it was, we would love for you to like or subscribe, and just leave some comments. Join in the conversation. We love hearing from folks who are jumping into the video with us. So that's that.
Yep.
We'll see you next time. I experienced. Okay, not this. What just happened? What just happened? Alrighty. What? What's there? Help me out, because I'm not. Is it a crazy eyebrow or something?
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's a wild one. What do you want me to do about
I
it?
you. I can't stop. I'm crying. Yeah, it just it's blonde or not blonde.
Blonde?
Gray. Brush it or something.
I can't brush my eyebrows. Are you serious? I can wipe it. What's your problem?
That's
I can't see it, so fix it
fine.
if you have an issue with it.
better now.
You want to pull it?
I thought it was sticking down to your eye, so oh my gosh, no. Okay. Good. Got it out.
So
Just looked at you and I was like, what the?
My older eyebrows are flawed.
It was looked like it was poking you in the eye.
Okay.
Oh mercy.
You ready?
I think
So growing up, I had to experience it. Oh my gosh.
it's not that. It's just I'm trying to be
Now you can't fix yourself.
I'm trying to be I'm trying to be serious. I'm sorry. Okay.
You got issues, man. You got issues.
Stop. You're making me worse.
I'm doing nothing.
Oh lordy. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I need a napkin. Okay, maybe I don't. I don't want black all over my face. Anyways, I mean that was good. I'm just trying to be serious.
What was good? All I
Getting
said
ready
was
to
growing up.
start, but it was like, I don't know.
Wasn't even funny.
No, it's not. I'm just saying. I'm in that mood of trying to be serious.
Wait,
can't.
you don't have to be serious.
Oh
You
my
just have to
gosh.
not sit
I
there and
can't.
laugh hysterically.
Trying not to. Oh my gosh. Okay. Don't laugh. Okay.
Come on, we got
I
other
know we
stuff
gotta
to
get
do.
busy. Come on now.
I want to go outside and play.
Oh, my face is gonna be all red.
It's all right.
Is there black all over?
Yes.
For real? I'm gonna have
It's
to
the way
go
it's gonna
fix
be.
it.
No, you can't fix it.
Okay. Take a drink.
Don't do it again. Oh my gosh. Tony, I don't know what to say, bro. Trying here.
Sorry.